discuss about the global scenario. It is estimated that the world uses 5 trillion of plastic waste. Okay, and around 13 millions of plastic waste gets accumulated in the sea and oceans. This is again a question mark. Where is the production? Where is the use? And why we are going to throw it in the ocean? Why there is such current use in the whole century? Now, one more challenging things which we are going to discuss on this is we use 50% plastics as single-use plastics on this one. So generally we use it for single use and throw it. Now, where lies the problem? If we are using single-use plastics, that the end products or the end result are disposable, it is not under proper management. Plastic waste makes up to 10% of the total waste which we generate. This is the initiatives of the business. San Francisco to ban the sale of any kind of plastic bottle. In 2015, a bill was passed to ban all cosmetics products that contain plastic. Even in France also, it passes a law, plastic bans in 2016 to ban all plastic by 2050. Even coming back to China also, it passed a law in 2008. The consumer has to pay for the use of plastic bags, and within 2 years, the use of plastic bags dropped by 50%. So these are all some of the initiatives in the different countries. Okay. Now, coming back to our COVID-19 global scenario, pandemic period, we all know that subsequent steps have been taken to reduce the impact of plastics. Now, due to outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic situation, the production of PPE, personal protection equipment, it's almost made from the plastics. It has been doubled, full, and in this PPE, it contains a large amount of microplastics. Now, whenever we are going for any kind of plastic management initiatives, it's again a major environmental concern because the moment COVID-19 pandemic came, it poses a long-term and short-term threat to the land and marine ecosystem. Again, this is it. One way or the other, we are again end up with plastics. Now, this made there is sudden surge during COVID-19 to protect us. Understand the scenarios that where the initiative has been taken, but during this period, we all have encountered that there is a huge scenario in this market. Now, whenever you are going for global scenario to reduce the plastic, it has been reduced that due to health conscious that the push for the environmental concern to a very lesser priority. Now, one more thing you will come to know is when you discuss about recycling plastics or virgin plastic, which is really better for our environment. Again, this is a questioning. It has been found that this categorized or post-consumer plastic results in like 46 to 79% reduction in environmental impact in those people when we are comparing with the virgin components. So the only factor in which virgin components had less impact on the recycling was in water consumption. Post-consumer production, it requires 4% more water consumption than virgin production. Now, I hope you have got the idea that only that the one plus point of virgin plastic is that compared to your recycled plastic, that it consumes less water. Apart from that, the recycled plastics, the performance is far better. I am not saying that it is 100% environmental friendly, but when there is a choice, we always should go for a reduced one or which has a lesser impact on environment. This is, you can say that in this way we are contributing ourselves that yes, something we are going to do. Now, this is a big question mark. Is plastic recycling successful? That is in a big question. Let's see. With this journey, we will get to know something about that. The entire journey is a question mark. I am not going to give any kind of lecture session based upon that. So it is up to you. You have to decide that what is the role, what being an individual we have to take up, and is it really necessary? If it is not necessary, if we are not taking the initiative at this hour of time, whether it is too late, whether our next generation, whether they will face any kind of issues, these things again a question mark. You have to answer it. I am not going to answer any of these questions. Let's see. Now, while you are going for any kind of developing countries, mismanagement of plastic waste is a threat. This is a global issue. When we are discussing about art scenarios, investment in arts, the theme of this 2022, together we have to take up the initiatives. It is not related to any single country. As a whole, we have to take the initiatives. One hand handling single entity is not enough. Now, while we are going for any kind of consumption of plastics, increasing it is really it will go for any kind of reusable plastic materials of disposal. It takes like 500 to 1,000 years. This is a practical scenario. Again, we are going for any kind of garbage things, transportation of recycled material also lead to increasing amount of plastics in our oceans. It is also one of the threat elements. Now, at least you will find 3 billion people worldwide lacks access to formal waste disposal facilities. Now, I have pointed it just at least 3 billion people worldwide lacks access to formal waste disposal facilities. That is one of the challenging tasks. This is one of the issue. You can say one of the issue that where we have to emphasize on that. As a result, you will find significant amount of solid waste makes its way into the environment. So you have found that one of the reason, potential reason, that there is a lack of access to formal waste disposal facilities. Okay. Now you will find like ExxonMobil's, they are taking the initiatives helps to address the plastic use and creating some of that social impact. How we are going to reduce the plastic waste by meeting customer performance needs. Going for any kind of recycling material or plastic material is the taken up that how we are going to reduce the impact of plastics. Okay. Now, going back to rules, regulations, issues. Now, when we discuss about the specification of the plastics, so generally they are going for 4 aspects related to biodegradable disintegrations, negative impact of components of any kind of metals components. And with respect to the guidelines, IS 14534 and 1998, you will find that guidelines should be there for selection, segregations, and students. My dear students, one more thing I'm going to discuss. Whenever we deal with the term waste management, please listen. Whenever we are dealing with the term waste management, the first thing which will come or plays a very important role is segregation. Source segregation is very important. The moment you go for a source segregation, I will say that like almost 50% work is complete. Source segregation is very important. And for the success of any projects, any initiatives, or any process, source segregation is very important. Now, for a better source segregation, we have to take the initiative. We are the people who should take this initiative. Yes, if it is a biodegradable, it has to be in one dustbin. If it is a plastic component, then it should be in another. That certain initiative things we should. The movement source segregation is a very important role. It's a success that the entire process of waste management it becomes very successful. This way, whenever you are in a very initiative one, that whenever you will find such kind of segregation, of course, mm, the government body, central government or even municipality, state governments initiative should be there. Government, the citizen, we the people, we are equally responsible. Each and everything, we should not directly say that government is not doing this, that. We should stop these things. Each and every individual, we are responsible for our art to keep it clean and green. So in 2021, the theme was restore our earth, and 2020 it was climate action. Now, why we celebrate art? Now, this is just a, you can say, we go for a discussions. Particularly, you can say it is like a awareness. So, environmental literacy or equity. So, right at the beginning, I have mentioned you that it is not a lecture session. So, it's a journey that where we have to understand that where lies the issue, where lies the problem, what is the consequence of it, and how we are going to mitigate it or reduce it to reduce its impact. That's the ultimate idea of why you are going to celebrate art. Now, even one small example I am going to sometimes you will find when you go for a Google search, you will find in the prompt, you will find some time-lapse animations. Now, what do you mean by that? So, it is nothing but it's a small contribution from our Google to increase the awareness trend that yes, something will be. So, these animations, it changes every hour to just it makes an effect on climate change over a people. Okay. Now, coming back to our environmental threats. So, I have jotted 7 points. Although during this short period of time, it is not sufficient enough to discuss everything. So, I have made it just like 7 points that where lies the threat. Now, why I use the word threat? Because basically this particularly damaging our resources, our natural resources, one way or another. I will say whether it is a man-made or it is a nature. Rather, I will say the percentage of man-made is comparatively more compared to nature. Although both nature and man-made, they are contributing factors. So let's see about one by one about 7 environmental threats. So the first is climate change. So because of like extreme heat, wave, droughts, flood scenario, or crop yield, or rising sea levels, so we will find some of the drastic changes in this conditions. You will also find that deforestation comes. So due to this is also one of the potential cause is climate change. The depletion in the oxygen level, this is one of the, and also you will find that displacement of the wild. Okay. Number 3 goes to losses of biodiversity. So this is one of the beautiful element you can say with respect to our environment. Now we are losing biodiversity. So when you talk about biodiversity, we are destroying the natural indicators. So let's say, like for example, if we are going for a construction of hydro project, hydro dam, or any road construction. So if there is any kind of effect related to biodiversity effects, so consequent measures or remedial measures should be taken. So to minimize the loss of biodiversity. So this is one of the examples, practical examples that where we are losing our biodiversity. Okay. Number 4 is oceanic dead zones. So this oceanic dead zones also you directly you can say depletion of the oxygen level. If there is any kind of oil spill, any kind of accidents during transportation of oils from one place to another. So this is also one of the threat to our marine issues. Okay. Now, number 5 comes our overpopulations. Overpopulations is like when there will be excess stress. Now, you will say that what is the main scenario that overpopulation is a threat for it? No. the basic concept is the more the population is, the demand will be more. Now, to keep up these demands, whether supply is really enough, it is sufficient enough for us to meet the demands and requirements of the growing population. That is one of the question. Agriculture comes into the effects. Or whether do we have sufficient amount of food to provide such kind of resources to the population, growing population. That is also one of the question. So this is, although this is just like a branch line, what we are discussing about. Next is overfishing. Day by day, each and every species we are going for fishings, and this also directly related to our loss of habitat. Number 7 is pollution. Now, this pollution is different form of populations we will find, like air pollution, noise pollution, soil pollution, radioactive elements, water pollution, or plastic pollutions. Now, basically for this journey, I will be discussing about plastic pollution. Now, this plastic pollution, it has become one of the most important issues, environmental issues to discuss. Yes, rapidly increasing the production of disposable plastic bottles in the world's ability to deal. So this is one of the, and single-use plastic is one of the challenging tasks we need to. Now let's discuss about what is plastic. It's a very simple. You can say that in a very simple word. You can say that it is a synthetic polymer made with like petrochemical sources, like you will find high molecular mass of chemical. It increases the performance and the efficiency. That's basic concept. I am not going through all the molecular structure of it. The basic concept is how we are going to deal with plastics. This is directly related with our environment. If we are going for a clean and green environment, we have to deal this. This is one of the consequence effects which is affecting our environment in a greater distance. Let's see, that's why these synthetic organic polymers are durables, lightweight, versatile, and even inexpensive. Now, let's see the journey of plastics. We all discuss about plastics, single-use plastic. Let's see about whenever we are going for any kind of analysis part of these things. It is better we get to know about some of the history, how it has been implemented. Now, this plastic pollution was first discovered in 1972, and there was a less attention on the harmful effects. Say 1972 and today is 22. Find that it was not until 1940 that plastic manufacturing became one of the fast growing industries. So you will find that subsequent that pace, that race related to production of plastics, it has been. Now you will find, since then you will find that lots of traditional items like wood, metal, leathers, all these things, it has been replaced. We feel that yes, there is a better replacement. Plastic is a better replacement. Now, due to its versatile effects, now you will find use it in like textile, mobile manufacturing. So also, now the packaging industries, they have been widely used for any kind of discussing, and currently you will find this is the largest market in the plastic industry. This is the consequence, the journey of it. Now, this plastic waste, you will find it has a direct effect on our environmental. As per the, you will find the report of United States Environmental Protection Agency, you will find that since 1960s, our use of plastic has